Good afternoon and welcome to the OOH-RAH Report. I am your host, Anthony Keffer, and today we are reviewing Monday Night Raw and the Royal Rumble 2021. Yes, I understand that a lot of people were looking forward to having the Rumble and Raw separately, but to be honest, the Rumble pay-per-view was very small. There wasn't a lot of stuff that I think warranted its own review, so I'm clumping in at the beginning of the Raw review as a lot of the stuff does pertain to Raw anyways, so it's a nice overlap, in my opinion. So we're going to start with the Rumble first before we actually get into Raw. The first match was on the pre-show as Asuka and Charlotte defend the women's tag team championships against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And my prediction for this did come true. I think all of my predictions, except for the men's match, were correct. And yeah, this was a good match. I just get really annoyed because I knew what the outcome was going to be. You know, Lacey Evans comes out, distracts Charlotte. They end up losing the titles because of that. And then that storyline actually continues in the Women's Rumble match itself. So then after that, I'll go through the championship matches first, and then we will go through the two Rumbles first. So the first championship match was Goldberg-McIntyre. And yeah, this was exactly what most people expected from it. It was really just a finisher spam, jackhammer, claymore, spear, claymore, pinfall. It was exactly what people were hoping for. And yeah, good. Drew wins. Let's move on from Goldberg, please. It's getting really tiring. He's probably the new Undertaker, to be honest. They're just going to drag him out for different showings. I wouldn't be surprised if, he goes after Roman at Mania for some reason, but I hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised either way, where Goldberger's be like, well, this was the original plan, and you're next, and I'm just like, it's going to be dumb, but still, the right guy won, and once again, my prediction was right. So then, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a last man standing match for the Universal title. This was awesome, and they put this in between the Rumble matches, which I think was good. It was a nice, different paced match, and yeah, this was a war, and this is exactly what you want from a last man standing match, especially with these two guys. Great use of Tropicana Field. Absolutely loved it. The only issue I had with it is that there was a botch near the end. So, of course, they pulled out all the stops for a last man standing match where you had Kevin Owens handcuff Roman Reigns to the bottom of a light fixture. And he asked Heyman to undo it, and Heyman actually had a problem doing it. So much so that the count needed to be stopped. And the commentary team was trying to pass it off. It's oh, he's got 1 foot, and you're just you knew it was a botch. And yeah, I'm not gonna get mad at that because they happen. It's gonna happen. Something bad. If it happens, it happens. You just gotta deal with it. So yeah, that was fine. Roman wins after a fantastic match, and I'm very interested to see how he gets to the Rumble and who actually gets to face him. If it be the winner of the Rumble or not. So we actually have I'll talk about the Women's Rumble next. Really good Women's Rumble, I think. I'm not going to go through every entrant. I'll be here all night. So what I like to do is, if anybody has seen my 1992 Royal Rumble review, which if anybody has any comments or a video of actual events that you would like me to cover, old pay-per-views, leave it in the comment section below. I will gladly take a look at it. So yeah, what I do is I go through the final four, the final two, and then the winner in the match overall. So for the women, the final four were Natalya, who won the number 30 spot on Backstage, which annoyed me a little bit, but it annoyed me more for what they did to the men's match. But I'll get to that in a minute. Natalya, Charlotte, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. And this was good. Natalya goes out first, not by any surprise. Charlotte gets dumped out next by Rhea and Bianca, and basically, yeah, that's a really good sign. And as much as I was right in my prediction, because Bianca Belair does go on to win this match and win the Royal Rumble, I really wanted to see Rhea win, and it didn't even cross my mind that Rhea would have the chance to win it, and especially with the year that she's had since losing to Charlotte at Mania. She hasn't really been on the right trajectory. My brother pointed this out to me while we were watching the show. And yeah, I get that. And this would have been a really good win. You could have easily had Bianca get to Mania some other way. But that would have been really nice. But of course, Rhea gets dumped over. Bianca does win. Really good promo afterwards about how she got here. She becomes the second African-American to win the Royal Rumble match, which I found really interesting. The Rock was the first in 2000. But yeah, no. Good. I was right. They kind of, it was the predictable option, but it was the right one. As much as I would have liked to see Rhea, I really do hope that Rhea doesn't necessarily go off of me. I think she could still do something at Mania, and I would like to see it because she's not really doing much in NXT at the moment. Because she's not going after the NXT Women's title, and she's not. I think all she's doing right now is she's in the Women's Dusty Classic. So I would like to see her do something more Mania weekend besides just be at NXT and do not much. So yeah, I'd like to see that. But yeah, Bianca wins 3 for 3 on the night, and then the main event, the men's Rumble match, and this was a damn good Rumble match. Like there was a lot of filler guys. Like you knew they weren't gonna win, but once you got down to like the final 4 or 5, like you kind of knew what was happening. So the match starts off, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it actually is the same way it ends, with Edge at number 1 and Orton number 2. Which this is why I hated backstage, the announcement that they made for backstage. 2 reasons. 1, they actually got the order wrong. They changed it at the last minute. It was originally Randy Orton at number 1 and Edge number 2, which I get why they changed it, because there's a better story to tell there. But I also think, like, there is no necessary reason to do that. What if in my opinion, wouldn't it have felt better if they did not tell you that, and you actually got the option, and just at random, these two start off, and this is the rekindle of the rivalry? Wouldn't that have been better? I think it would have been, but lo and behold, they had a really nice beatdown. Orton gets into the back because you know he's coming back later and he's not spending the whole time in the match. And Edge, for storytelling purposes, stays in the match and goes end to end. So yeah, Edge wins this. But the final 4 were Seth, Edge, Christian, and Braun Strowman. When Christian showed up, I was nerding out. That was amazing, and I feel bad there was no fans in attendance to really take that moment in. But yeah, so then Christian and Braun go out. Seth gets thrown out by Edge. You think Edge has won it, and then Orton pops out of nowhere, RKO out of nowhere. So yeah, we're down. It's the 99 Rumble all over again, where the 2 guys that ended it, the 2 guys that started it, ended it. And yeah, Ed, surprisingly enough, it looks like Orton's going to win it and tie Austin's record. But no, Edge reverses and throws him out. And you know what? I'm surprised. I really was. I thought for sure it would have been Bryan. And I know I had my out there pick with Switchblade, and then literally the same evening, he re-signs with New Japan, which I laughed at that, because, you know, that's me being a giddy wrestling fan and getting my hopes up way too much. But yeah, Edge wins. Really surprising victory, and based on what we see on Raw, like, I kind of like where they're going, but I'm very interested to see where they're going, because I don't really know who he's going to pick. So yeah, that was the Royal Rumble, and now we come to Raw, and basically, oh yeah, completely forgot that there was another match on the card for Royal Rumble. Yeah, Sasha beat Carmella. Good match, whatever. So yeah, going into Raw opens up with Drew McIntyre as he basically hypes up the road to WrestleMania. Edge comes out. We get a little back and forth there. Good promo by Edge, explaining how happy he is that he won the Rumble and that he's going to walk out of Mania as a champion. Which champion he has yet to determine. He tells Drew, "I will let you know when I'm ready," which I think is great. Sheamus then comes out to like kind of just break it up and, you know, and do his own shtick. And yeah, Edge leaves, and then bam, right after, Drew gets hit with a bro kick. And yeah, I'm interested to see how that works, because now does Drew, you know, Edge is not going to pick until, I'm assuming, after, probably after Elimination Chamber, I think. And then you're going to have that option where, like, is he going to face Drew? I think him and Drew is better than him and Roman. I think you can have somebody else face Roman. Probably Goldberg. As much as I hate to say that, that's probably the way they're going to go, and have Edge. Because I think Edge should win a championship. Because there was that rumor right after Mania 36 that he was going to have one more title run. And I don't know who he could beat at Mania. It's an interesting path they're going to take here. But yeah, I do like the fact that they're probably building up Sheamus and Drew still, which is my original pitch for Mania, which was Sheamus versus Drew, or Sheamus versus Drew versus Keith. So, and Keith, once again, is not on the show. He actually did contract COVID, so they put him in protocol. He missed the Rumble entirely. So yeah, next up is our actual first match, and it is a U.S. title match between Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle. Kind of happy they didn't put this on the Rumble. It would have felt like a little bit extra, and probably would have fell on the wayside like the Carmella-Sasha match did for me. But yeah, solid match between these two. And I was disappointed again because it ended in a DQ finish. You can only prolong a storyline so far. And I think you're starting to run the risk of overstretching the storyline. If you're going to have Riddle win, have Riddle win. If you're going to have Bobby Lashley win, let him win and move on to the next opponent. I can't sit here and watch this every week and just be so repetitive. There's another, right after that, you get even more repetitive. But yeah, I'm really tired of this. Either give Riddle the damn belt or move on. Period. I'm getting really sick of this feud. And I shouldn't, because I like Matt Riddle and I like Bobby Lashley. But this is getting really annoying. Speaking of repetition, for probably about the 8th time this month, they're having Xavier Woods versus a member of Retribution. Actually, for once, he actually does get to face off against Mustafa Ali, building off their encounter at the Rumble the night before. And yeah, okay match, nothing great. Kofi's at ringside, and the members of Retribution are at ringside. Nothing great. There's only 2 of them now, because, Mia Yim got COVID, so that she's out. So yeah, 2 of them are there. Whatever. And basically, match ends. Xavier wins. Cool. I don't understand why we keep doing this damn storyline, because Retribution is still garbage. I don't know why you just don't send them all back to NXT and let them be themselves again, but whatever. Yeah, I digress. I really just want this feud to fucking end, and it's really annoying. So after a nothing segment with Bad Bunny, he's on Miz TV, nothing really great. You're basically setting up a celebrity tag match between Bad Bunny and Damien Priest against Miz and Morrison. And yeah, Damien Priest comes out. Really happy he's on the main roster, actually, because I feel like his time in NXT was kind of winding down anyways, after his feud with Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. Yes, I do watch NXT, even though I don't review it. And yes, you basically have that, and good match. This leads to a match between Priest and Miz. Really good match. Bad Bunny gets a little bit involved as he saves Priest from Miz hitting him with the briefcase, and overall, just like, yeah, okay, this was good. I see where it's going. I'm not against it. I just, to be honest, I personally think bringing Damien Priest in this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like if, there's a built-in storyline to have Booker T be his partner. Because the song is called Booker T. Like, Booker T's in the song. And yet Booker T has said in multiple interviews that he still wants to wrestle. So I'm surprised that they put Damien Priest here, which I'm not against it. I feel like it's nice that you're bringing in a younger guy to do this job, and it's a big profile thing. But yeah, I kind of just was a little bit surprised about it, but I'm okay with it. And Damien Priest is good, and I like he's at least going to probably get a Mania match, even though it's a celebrity match. So yeah, after that we get a Raw Tag Team Title match. This is copy and paste again, where you have Hurt Business taking on the Lucha Brothers. Oh God, see, I'm thinking of Wednesday night already. But no, the Lucha House Party. And yeah, rinse and repeat from their last match that they had and every other tag match they had, where there's a miscommunication at the end and the Hurt Business still finds a way to come on top. Once again, same thing with the Riddle and Lashley storyline. I'm kind of tired of this already. Like, I know the outcome. Either break up the Hurt Business, let them all go their separate ways, or actually have storyline progression. Because right now, it's the same damn thing every week, and it's annoying. So, and then you actually have another tag match with a women's triple threat to determine the number 1 contenders for the Raw Women's Tag Titles. Why? Like, the people involved are Asuka, Charlotte, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and then Lana and Naomi for some fucking reason. Like, they were both in the Rumble last night. They both returned to the Rumble. Cool. Why the fuck are they tagging together? There's no storyline there. It makes no sense. And that you're really grasping for straws to build your women's tag division, and it's annoying. So yeah, this is a good match. All 6 women, all 9 women, 6 women involved are really solid wrestlers, and they put on a good job. The match ends, of course, with Lacey Evans interfering. Oh boy, this is still gonna go on. Not looking forward to this match, and this is gonna go to Mania, and it's annoying, and I don't want it. I really don't want it to go to Mania. Like, I don't understand why we have to do this feud, but whatever. And yeah, Naomi and Lana win. The fuck? I'm sorry, but I understand that, like, the women's tag champs, which is Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax now, will probably lose the belts to the Riot Squad at Mania for a feel-good moment. But you have a tag team that's there, came out together, that's an actual tag team, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Why not just have them win? Why do you have to have Naomi and Lana? Like, they literally, like, they cut the promo right before the match of why they were teaming together, and it still made no sense. But of course, whatever, the women's tag division is broken, and they're not going to fix it. Whatever. So, yeah. And then after that, we get another tag match. Kind of surprised they did 3 tag matches back to back to back, but they had Jeff Hardy and returning Carlito. He showed up at the Rumble last night. Dude looked great. And, against Elias and Jackson Riker. Really good match. Carlito, and it's actually really fun. I was really happy. It was a nice palate cleanser before the following 2 matches, which are more story-driven. And, yeah, Carlito and Jeff win. Nice throwback. Nice win for Carlito. Really happy to see him. Hopefully he stays a little bit longer and actually gets involved in some title pictures. I feel like I give him that guy a nice U.S. title run. A nice due for him. Really solid. So then we actually have 2 storyline matches in our... I'm going to call it co-main events because they intertwine. We have Alexa Bliss taking on Nikki Cross, which they had an altercation at the Rumble. Nice building off of the Rumble. And we get a lot of mind games, and I love it. We get Alexa going back to her old persona with Nikki partially through the match. The old, Bliss before she went crazy. And it was good. And Nikki's confused. It goes back to, I'm going to call it Firefly Alexa. And yeah, Alexa wins with a twisted version of Sister Abigail. Really nice. And that immediately jumps into the Randy Orton Edge main event, which, by the way, they built that up too. And that came out a little bit out of left field because you just saw them basically end their feud at the Rumble, and here we go again. But yeah, so Alexa wins, really crooked fashion, love it. And then Edge and Orton put on a nice little match, nothing crazy. And then Alexa shows up, scares the crap out of Orton, and Edge wins. Yeah, that's your show. I like this, once again, the story stuff with the Randy, Alexa, and the Fiend, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to get Firefly Funhouse match in Mania. That's going to happen. It has to happen. And I like the way that's going. Now that Edge got that win, he can go on to face either Roman or Drew. I'd personally like it to see him fight Drew more than I want him to fight Roman, but we'll see how that builds over time. And yeah, no. Overall, Rumble, really good Rumble, surprisingly enough, for the COVID Rumble. That's what I'm gonna call it now, is the COVID Rumble. But yeah, really good Royal Rumble, nice, solid show, and Raw wasn't bad either. Raw had its moments, mostly with the repetitive tag team matches and the story progression that I kind of want to end soon and move on, because now you're in the road to WrestleMania. There's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to get built up for it. I really do hope that we move on to that. And yeah, the Alexa stuff, once again, is the highlight of the show. So really good showing from WWE this last 48 hours. I'm excited to see what comes out on SmackDown now, and what can actually build for now as we are in the road to WrestleMania and things will get better. So let me know what you guys thought of the Royal Rumble and Raw in the comment section below. Hit the like and subscribe button; they do go a long way. And I'll see you all here next time on the OOH-RAH Report.